Hello students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the first variant of loops, that is the for loop. Okay. So first of all, what is the syntax of for loop? The for loop first of all contains the keyword for, which indicates that we are going to write a for loop. Okay. And then inside these parentheses, we have three things: initialization, condition, and increment. Okay, what are these things? I will explain in a moment with the help of an example. Okay, and then we have this statement. This statement is the statement which we want to repeat. Okay, so this is the statement under this for loop. Okay, and if you want to repeat multiple statements, then you can put them inside the curly braces. Okay, so now let us understand initialization, condition, and increment things with the help of an example. Okay, so let us suppose that you want to print slide 10 times. Okay, so which is the statement you want to repeat? You want to repeat cout slide. Okay, and I put a backslash n so that slide is printed in a new line every time. Okay, so this is the statement under the for loop. Okay, and how to write the for loop? We will write the keyword for and then parenthesis, and the first thing is initialization. The for loop has a special variable which is called loop control variable or simply loop variable, which controls this loop. It is the variable which is initialized to some value. Suppose initially the value is 1, and then it repeatedly changes its value. Its value is incremented each time the loop is executed. Okay. So initialization means initialization of this loop variable. Okay. So this is an integer and I initialize it to value 1. So initially its value is 1. Okay. And then we have condition. Condition is normally a relation statement, relational expression. Okay. So in this case, I want to print slide 10 times. Okay. So the condition then can be I less than equal to 10. Okay. So this is a relational expression because we are using less than equal to sign. As long as the value of I is less than equal to 10, we will keep on iterating. We will keep on repeating this for loop, and slide will be printed every time the loop is repeated. Okay. And when the value of I becomes greater than 10, that is 11, this condition will become false and the loop will be stopped. But now the question is how the value of I will reach 11. Initially it is 1 and we have set the condition that it can go up to 10. But how we will change the value of I from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and so on up to 10. For that we have this increment expression. Okay, so we will increment the value of I plus plus. Okay, in this way this loop will change its values from 1 to 2 to 3 and 4 so on up to 10. Okay, now one thing to note here is that you have always you have to separate these three things with the help of this semicolon. Do not put comma here. The syntax is to put the semicolon here. Okay, now let us understand how this loop is working. So first, when we enter this loop, initialization will take place. So initially I will be assigned the value 1, and initialization happens only once during the program. Okay, so we have initialized and then after initialization the condition will be tested whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is true, only then the loop will be executed, otherwise the loop will not be executed. Okay, so we will compare the value of I, that is 1, with 10. It turns out that condition is true. So the condition is true. Now we will execute the for loop. For execution of for loop means execution of the statement under the for loop. So slide will be printed once, and after execution we will do the increment. Okay, I plus plus means the new value of I will be 2. Okay, then in the second iteration the value of I will be 2. It will be tested against 10. The condition is true, so again it will print slide and then increment. Now in the third iteration the value of I is 3. 3 is less than equal to 10, so slide will be printed and increment will happen. This will keep on going like this. Suppose now we reach I equal to 9. 9 is less than equal to 10, condition is true, loop will be executed, I's value will be incremented. Now the value of I is 10. 10 is less than equal to 10. The condition is again true. The loop will be executed. Increment will occur. Now the value of I is 11. When we check the condition is now false. 11 is not less than equal to 10. So the condition is false. Then what will happen? The for loop will stop here. Instead of executing the statement under the for loop, the control will move out of the for loop to the statement which is written next to this loop. Okay, so this is how the for loop works. Now let us take another example where you want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. How can you do this? For I equal to 1, because initially the value of the loop control variable should be 1. Let us make it int I define it here. Okay, remember that definition of the variable is necessary. Okay, you can only use a variable when it has been defined. Okay, here I have defined this variable inside the for loop. This is also valid, but you can also define the variable outside the for loop. Here I have defined it int I semicolon, but I have not initialized it. Here I have defined it as well as initialized it to value 1. Okay, so here I am initializing I equal to 1 in the for loop. The condition is I have to print 10 numbers, so I less than equal to 10, increment. Okay, and in this loop I want to print actually the value of I. Okay, cout I, then I write endl. Endl has the same function as \n. Every time the loop will be executed, the output will be printed in a new line. Although I have put these curly braces here, but I actually really do not need them. Why? Because there is a single statement under the for loop. Okay, now what will happen? Initially I equal to 1, the test condition is true, so we will execute the body of the loop. What is the body of the loop? Cout I means it will print 1 and then I plus plus. Now the value of I will become 2. Then I equal to 2. 2 is also less than equal to 10. So statement will be executed. I's value will be printed and then increment. And this keeps on going like this. When I's value is 10, 10 is less than equal to 10. So the loop will be executed. It will print I, that is 10, then increment will happen. Now I is 11. 11 is not less than equal to 10. So the loop will stop here. In this way, you can print numbers from 1 to 10. You can also modify this program to print numbers from any range to any other range. You can print numbers from 5 to 20 also. In that case, what you will do, instead of initializing it to 1, you will initialize it to 5, and here you will change the condition to 20. Okay. We have written increment here, but actually it can be increment as well as decrement. Let us take an example for this. Suppose you want to print numbers from 10 to 1 now. Okay. So now what will you do? Now you will initialize the loop variable to 10. Okay, and the condition will be I greater than equal to 1, because what you will do, you will move from 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 and so on to 2 to 1. Okay, so the last number which you want to print is 1. Okay, so I should always be greater than equal to 1, and now you are moving downwards, so I minus minus should be there. Okay, and here you will write Cout I ENTL semicolon. Okay, so now initially I will be 10. I greater than equal to 1 means, is 10 greater than equal to 1? Yes. So it will print the value of I, and then I minus minus means I's value will be decremented. I's value will become 9 now. Okay, then in the next iteration I is 9, so 9 is greater than equal to 1. Yes, true. So 9 will be printed, and I minus minus 8. So in this way it will keep on doing like this. Then suppose I equal to 1. 1 is greater than equal to 1. Yes, true. So 1 will be printed. Now I minus minus, the new value of I will become 0. So when I is 0, then 0 greater than equal to 1, this is false. Okay, so here the condition is false. So after printing the values from 10 to 9 to 1, the for loop will stop. Okay. And another thing to note here is that although I write I plus plus or I minus minus, I make use of increment and decrement operators, but I can also write it as I equal to I plus 1 or I equal to I minus 1. But uh, these increment and decrement operations are faster as compared to these normal arithmetic operations. So it is recommended that you use these increment and decrement operators. Okay. Now let me clear all this stuff on the screen. Okay. So as I have already explained to you, the initialization is an assignment statement that is used to set the loop control variable. The condition is a relational expression that determines when the loop will stop. The increment or decrement define how the loop control variable changes each time the loop is repeated. Okay. Now, can you guess the output of this for loop? This for loop has none of the expressions for initialization, condition, and increment decrement. Then what will happen? There is no initialization, there is no testing. There is no testing means this loop is always true. So because this loop is always true, the condition is always true, this loop will run forever. This is an infinite loop.